You. 11 Alive has confirmed that 2 of the 4 Georgia voters the president accused of fraudulently voting dead are very much alive. Our chief investigator Brendan Keefe tracked them down.
Mr. James Blaylock of Covington, Georgia, a World War II veteran, voted in the election, the president's campaign tweeted. The only problem? He passed away 14 years ago. Sadly, Mr. Blaylock is a victim of voter fraud. That claim was amplified on national television.
And no one quite embodies that story like James Blaylock of Covington, Georgia. Mr. Blaylock was a mailman for 33 years until he passed away in 2006. 14 years later, according to state records, he was still mailing things. James Blaylock cast a ballot in last week's election.
False. James Blaylock did not vote in last week's election. Mrs. James Blaylock voted in last week's election.
He's not voted. He didn't vote.
It was you.
It was me.
Agnes Blaylock voted using her married name, Newton County confirmed. Her voter registration was signed as Mrs. James E. Blaylock Jr., and that's exactly how she signed her name when she voted in the November 3rd general election.
The President of the United States was accusing you of voter fraud, essentially.
Oh, I know it. And I knew it wasn't fraud.
Is there anything you'd like people to know about your husband? Because I'm sure he's dearly missed.
Best man I ever knew. Best one to me. I couldn't have had a better one.
In his case, maybe voting from the grave wasn't really fraud, it was just commitment. Okay, but what about Linda Kessler of Nicholson, Georgia? Linda Kessler died in 2003. 17 years later, she was still voting in presidential elections.
That one is also false. Linda Kessler of Nicholson was marked deceased in 2003 and did not vote. Linda Kessler, who has a different address, birthday, and zip, who is entitled to vote, did vote, said Jackson County's Board of Elections. The Secretary of State is investigating the other 2 alleged dead Georgia voters, but half of those named by the Trump campaign voted legally.
Who did you vote for? You don't have to share that.
I voted for the Democrats, for Biden.
I see. And so,
I guess I voted against the other one, really.
Our 11 Alive voter access team is still hard at work bringing you accurate information on Georgia's retally, runoffs, and more. If you have a question, email us at whereatlspeaks@11alive.com or text us directly 404-885-7600.